under the weather. Hope he will be well soon and resume his task here. While I'm here, in between now and 6 o'clock this evening, we'll be bringing you news and information from across Liberia. So wherever you are, however you're listening, keep tuned to it because interesting discussions on the program this afternoon. Okay, so welcome back to it. Welcome back to the bumper show right here on ELBC Radio. Many things happening across the country today. Several happenings ongoing. Report from the Barclay Training Center in Central Monrovia is that the $100 million worth of cocaine that was discovered in the country over the weekend, it was burned today at the Barclay Training Center. The Armed Forces of Liberia, the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, backed by some of the international partners, especially from the United States, oversaw what happened today. That quantity of drugs was burned to ensure that it doesn't enter our communities and in line with international protocol that was done today, burn. So we not really talking about that again, but we are talking about those who are responsible for it. The DEA has said it is still going after those who are involved. We know that a Brazilian and a Portuguese nationals were on the run as a result of the discovery of this drug. I don't have current information whether any of them, has been caught, but as it is that cache of drugs was burned today, the largest in the history of Liberia. To get such a catch just in one day, meaning that it's a wake up call for authorities. It's a wake up call for our communities to ensure that whenever we see something going on wrong that we know it shouldn't be, we quickly alert the security forces. In the meantime, we know the issue of rice is going on in the country. The government has said that we have rice in the country while we anticipate more rice to arrive in the coming days. 22,000 metric tons of rice is expected in the country. The government has confirmed that, but in the meantime, others are still involved in smuggling of the commodities, taking it to nearby countries, because Liberia now, according to our commerce officials, Liberia has a lower price of rice in the sub-region. So some dealers are making use out of the opportunity to take the rice, while government is subsidizing the rice, take it here and carry to other neighboring countries to sell there at a higher rate. The national police has been involved. The police, have arrested some individuals all across the country. In Kanta, 2 trucks was arrested. Let me be sure about that. In Lokatu, that's in Nimba, the border, the border with Ivory Coast, the joint security forces were successful in confiscating 2 trucks of rice there. It said that truck contained 200, that's 2,500 bags of rice each. But the police is still warning people to desist from hoarding the product and hiking the price, because we have sufficient in the country that can last up to the time another vessel can arrive with more rice to go into the communities and fill all of those gaps that we have there in recent time. But to expand on this rice issue, whenever there is the issue of rice, whenever we anticipate a shortage or a hike in rice price, then you hear us as Liberians talking, we can feed ourselves, we have the land, we have this, we have that, and we need to grow rice ourselves. We don't need to be depending on other people to feed our market with rice. So to talk about that, we will be having with us the president of the National Rice Federation of Liberia, Mohammed Kamara. He's our guest on this edition of the program, and several issues we're going to be looking at concerning the issue of rice, talking about production, talking about storage, talking about distribution, talking about the entire value chain, what is happening locally, and he will be here. He is here as we speak, and will help us to understand all of these things on the program this afternoon. Welcome to the Bumper Show, Mr. Kamara.
Yeah, thank you so much for your invite.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm pretty fine. Thank God. My tallies, I was able to make it here this afternoon.
Okay. So, like I said, whenever there is a scare of rice shortage, or there is a hike in the price of rice, you hear us as Nigerians talking about, we can grow our own food, we have the land, we have this, we have that. The latest happenings surrounding the issue of rice, it has come up again. What comes to your mind whenever such a situation arises?
Yeah, first of all, let me say thanks to you by inviting me here to address such a critical issue, national issue, that are now affecting all of us collectively. And in relation to the rest issue, we have been working in consultation with the Minister of Agriculture, Minister of Finance, and we've been doing a lot of in-house discussions in terms of remedy for the entire rice process. And I will come to that, but let me just first of all address some of the issue yesterday. I was not invited specifically to the meeting that was called by the speaker and the committee members, the Honorable House of Representatives.
Okay, so they had a meeting.
Yeah, they have a meeting. They invited few key importers, Fulani Brothers and Futa, as to there were 3 issues that were discussed in our meeting, as far as I know. The first was to understand first, because there was a complaint about some of the rice that is selling out there to retailer, and the retailer is saying that they are selling the rice at the same time they are forced to buy other commodities. That was a complaint. All right, and the host wanted to make sure that whether that complaint was true or not. That was the other issue. The other issue was the shortage of the rice on the market, whether it was really true or not.
Okay, whether it was just
yes, and the third issue was about the subsidies. So these were the 3 main issues besides other things that were discussed on the floor yesterday.
Okay.
So let me first of all address the first issue, which was selling the rice with other commodities. The 2 importers said they are not in the note of that. They said that they're sending the rice based on their stock.
Okay.
Right? And then they auctioning the rice because the number of rice are in country, they want to be able to minimize it until the rice are on ship coming on the 23rd, in that it can be to coincide with the finishing of what is on ground and the one that is coming, so it will not be like there will be a lot of shortage on the market.
Okay.
And that was actually discussed lengthily, and I really, really appreciate the speaker and his team members and his colleagues, because despite that the importer said that was not true in it, but other representative who was there, like Marvin Goes, others said that they have received to authenticate. Yes, it happens.
That when you go to buy rice,
Yeah, you have to buy other commodities.
Okay.
Right? But to cut it short, the speaker said, okay, they were just one finding. I want to see the way forward. All right? And we closed on that, and there was some recommendation on that level to them. Okay? And the second issue was how many rice we have in stock. Because there's an issue right now in terms of people buying rice. Like one of the representatives says he bought rice about $30 US.
Yeah, out of the arrests that the LMP
and,
made, everything, $30 US, 5,000,
so, of course, and if there's no shortage on the market, the price should not go up more than what the normal price is supposed to be. Then what is the problem? Okay, so and it was agreed that we have rice in a country that can contain the population in terms of how much is in stock and what is expected.
Okay.
Okay.
So they admitted that we have.
Yeah, we have some rice. They said that the 2, and beside the other, because I was not in attendance with the other importers.
Okay.
Like Swap and the other,
So you are quoting what you heard from Fuani.
Yeah, I'm quoting what is called yesterday.
With Fuani Brothers.
With Fuani Brothers and Futa.
Okay, and Futa. Okay.
All right. So they assured the legislature that they have some stock in Liberia, and one is the ship, because 2 of them ship and 2 of them commodities are on the same ship coming, and that will be landed here on the 23rd. Okay, and we believe that in the closing, I think the speakers made them understand that, because they said that they can able to pour the rice on the market, I think 14,000 bags a day. All right, because meaning that you'll be serving about 500 person, just one entity, that is Fulani brother. Right, so meaning that we just need to manage in terms of information, in terms of the scarcity that have been given to the public.
Okay.
And also, the speakers and the committee members actually came up with a lot of good suggestions in terms of managing that. And the second thing was that since we have those things in country and others are coming, the challenge was the subsidies. Government have been trying her best in providing the promised subsidy to some of them. They admitted, yes, they received some of the subsidies already. All right? But the subsidy not coming on time, and that is one of the sticky issues where sometimes the normal rest will be in country will not be in country because there are capital investment in terms of importing from that end. They have that one have to come, they sell, they send our money back. But when the subsidy come in, when the subsidy money come, then they, before their own investment money finishes, that subsidy money will be on ship coming. Then before that one reaches here, then they will be able to send the other one they are already sending for another goods. So like that, it will be difficult for shortages to come. All right. But most importantly, in cleaning up those things, it was that the subsidies, government trying her best, honestly, they admitted that they received. The other guy said, Fulani Brothers said they received $1 million last 2 weeks ago, all right, as part of the agreement. But they still have much of the amount to be given to them, all right. Of course, the subsidy issue we have to understand from the basic as a government.
Yeah, now, because government has said that 5 million in the last budget year, 11 million will be in this budget year. So meaning that they are really subsidized.
But the issue is that the allocation of budget in the national budget, it doesn't mean the money is set down there.
Granted.
But the Minister of Finance, in collaboration with LRA, can generate that money and make sure we have other priorities, right? But they have to ensure that based on their promises made, instead of it being inflated and then create the kind of alarming situation, it have to be managed.
Okay. So the point here is that government should be able to pay on time.
Exactly. That's what was on time.
Then they will be able to bring the quantity of rice that is supposed to be in country on time. But I want us to
because after all of those things were said, I was privileged by the speaker to grant me the opportunity to speak.
Okay.
About the local position.
Yeah, and that's why you are here, so we can hear more.
So I make them understand that I previously stated. I said that I much appreciate the Minister of Finance and Minister of Agriculture because we've been working behind the scene, making sure that we get these things done. And we met on 2 occasions at the Minister of Finance, in the presence of the Minister of Agriculture, at the Minister of Finance, And they asked the federations and the members to come up with a roadmap. What could be some of the solutions, right, to get those things working, right? We take 3 days with the support from Star Peace through the mandate of the Minister of Agriculture, which I must give her, her flower when she's still alive because she has been doing a lot of work for us. And we drafted those documents that will be able to solve some of the immediate crisis in the future time. Because our own activities, it will become long, short, and long-term programs. But for the importations, it's a very short-term program because of the demand, right? So what I was saying to them, we have those discussions. We have the roadmap established, capturing out of the 15 counties in Liberia and identifying 7 counties putting county into zone. We have 7 zones. That the service center will be established because our challenge
will be established.
Yes,
it hasn't been established.
No, we have not even been able to do our presentation in June because I met in June.
So this presentation is with the National Rice Federation.
Of course, we're supposed to go in, but because unfortunately we're supposed to have met with the Minister of Finance and Minister of Agriculture to make sure that our funding in finding solution to this entire rice crisis in Liberia, that is why we decided to have the roadmap and the way forward. Because subsidy to give subsidy to importations of rice is not sustainable. All right, it's not going to be sustainable because you gain crisis all over the world, and then we looking at our own stable food, and we're looking at the landmark that we have. So we decided to get that roadmap established in that we can work in line with the government.
Mr. Kamara, all of what you're saying, establishment of roadmap, all of these things are on paper, even though, yes, you need to plan to get all of these things done before you can start the actual implementation. But it has been too long, all of the time. And had it not really been for this recent scare in the hike of price or the perceived shortage of rice, I'm sure this discussion would have been on a low tone again. But because of this, so it has elevated again. We're talking about it. What is stopping us? Are we just talking? Are we lazy? What is happening?
No, the issue is the issue is that the methodology that have been put together to make sure that we get those things done. We have to prioritize.
Mhm.
That is one of our deficiency in quote unquote all of us. All right, the private
We're
sector.
not prioritizing.
We're not prioritizing in terms of our own priorities.
Okay.
Right. So because of
Not
that,
focusing on rice.
yeah.
Instead
So,
focusing on other things.
Exactly. So what I'm saying in this is that our budget underline. We have the problem that we cannot produce and feed ourselves at this stage. It's about we are not getting the kind of equipment that is needed because we don't have the equipment that is needed to do land preparation and land clearing. You see, in Asia, Europe, and everywhere you see people bringing rice from those countries. They have access of rice. That's what they bring in to other countries around the world.
They just send it
Right?
surplus to us.
Because they have put in place methodology for their own country, right? So based on that, you go get it from your dry, blue fire, or what you're talking about today, right? We are saying to get ourselves on our feet and try to feed ourselves, we need actual mechanization.
Mr. Kamara, talking about this mechanization, we talk about mechanization all of the time. We're still talking about this. But have we put, our fingers on the numbers that say for example, we need a tractor for a particular farm. Do we know how much these things cost, or we just talk about it when the issue arises?
No, that's not. I'm telling you, we have worked on this thing before.
So meaning that
But we are
already
working on. We
plan.
have it. I'm just telling you, it's just a matter of execution, right? They want if we get to
But
our.
what is stopping the execution?
The problem here is that's why I'm seeing the priorities, right? Because the fact remains is that it was a good idea, solution. We're trying to find greater solution for our problems. And how do we go about it? It's about all of us sitting on the same table, like what we started before, like I said to you. Which I wish, of course, I applaud the minister for that. But what I'm saying is this. We have a 11 million naira budget for 5 years. And in our calculations, and that we start to fill in some of the gaps. In our 5 years, those gaps, the importation of 300,000 metric ton that we bringing in country. And the one that we're producing, 250,000 metric ton we're producing locally. All right. So the gap.
Year time. Do
in the
you produce
250 metric ton statistically, right?
Okay. Because I was reading something and it said 170,000 for Liberia.
Yeah, that is something. Yeah, that we stay trying to capture all of these things. We'll get to that in terms of the metrics that we need to use to get to that amount.
Okay.
But I'm just trying to tell you on the research that was done. But what I'm trying to say in this is that we sort of be beyond that. You understand? Because we have the national rice strategy in Liberia. We just work on it. We just validated it and what have you. Okay, we have all of the ingredients in there, right? And being board members of the regional rice federations, right? I just came from Guinea-Bissau, and we drafted a plan also that was going to be happening in West Africa, right? We call prioritize rice in West Africa. That was why we're developing the rice trade policy. We are trying to see how best we can get support to draft, our own rice, because every country needs to design their own rice policy in line with the regional rice policy. Okay, so all those things soft in the ground. How do we go about that, right?
Mr. Kamara, I want to ask you this one because how long you been in this position?
Yeah, we were founded 2017,
Okay.
and then we became members of the Regional Federation 2019.
Is the production of rice in the country, since your ascendancy in 2017, you said, right?
Yeah, we have, yeah.
Is the production declining, increasing? What can you say about it
No,
over the
actually,
years?
yeah, the fact with me is that, it's just parallel, right? Going up, coming down. We do not have the stable, we do not have the kind of stable or analysis in terms of, oh yeah, this year we're going to go this year we're going to go this. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to...
Do you remember the largest or the highest production in a particular year?
Yeah, that was around 2018. Yeah, let's say 2015, between 2015, because right after the Ebola, a lot of support came for the rice sector.
Okay.
All right, there were a lot of interventions. All right, so
we saw
increase in rice, between 2017 and 2018. Yeah, so 2015, 2017, between that period there was a rise in production.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but what I'm trying to say, we still have a chance, right, to feed ourselves. All we need to do is
feed ourselves specifically with rice.
The right, that's what I'm saying. Because the issue is that feeding ourselves, because that is our stable food. That is our concentration. Because I was just passing today to Watersa and Vatan. If you see your own citizens standing on the line, they're really shortage of rice, which of course is not like that. All right. So we create an artificial, shortage. All right, because of the alarming situations. And
do you think some of the farmers or some of the rice processors or distributors, local rice distributors, do you think they have rice in their warehouses?
Yeah, depending on the purchasing power, because right now, the dealers are now having a threshold in terms of how much they should give to retailer, right? I mean, because he told us yesterday that they were giving 20 bags for each of the for
you mean the local
retailer now. Retailer.
I'm talking about those who produce locally. You think they have rice in their warehouses because you work with them?
Yeah. The issue is that there are few of us that have rice in our warehouses, right?
And how much do you sell a local bag of rice?
Yeah, normally we sell based on the vicinity in the communities, right? We sell sometime, 18, 17 in between there, because the
$18, $17.
Yeah, because the local rice
than what we
import. The reason is that you do not have subsidy, right?
Okay.
And you're doing everything practically on your own. Okay, so that's what I'm saying, that if we have the land clear, like what we're trying to, the intervention coming in right now, like the government also through the STARP project, through the Minister of Agriculture. That is why I continue to tell her thank you very much, and thank the Minister of Finance as well. But we get to pick us more and get different strategies to make sure that we get things right. Like before then, I think 23 and small entrepreneur institutions are getting some other support. It's more like in the sort of subsidy to go and buy equipment for themselves. That is different for the national or mechanization or a draft that we want to do, right?
Mr. Kamara, if you are the rice producers, you're working in the rice value chain. I'm just looking at this amount of subsidies that's going to the importers. Maybe take for example the 11 million that is in the 2022 budget for subsidies. If this can be flip around and transfer to local producers, how much can you do?
No,
how much can you do?
The issue here is I'm continuing. The issue is that we will not curtail the subsidy from I'm just trying to tell you practically, because the fact with me is that we're already in the crisis. We're trying to solve those crises, and at the same time, we're trying to have a fallback position. That is a local right to be, produced at a higher level. All right, and that is also taking in place right now as I speak with this kind of support are coming to the sector.
Why I'm asking this question, because you were here, even some of you, they working in the rice sector, when you hear about these subsidies, you know,
No,
it
it's
sounds
right. Yeah,
so hard. Then you
yes.
say, well, why can't this be transferred to like farmers?
No, the issue here is I said that emphatically to the representative. All right, the speaker, I've said that there. How much are you giving some subsidy, which of course is not sustainable, honestly with you, than giving subsidy to the federation, the National Rice Federation, right? So meaning that you split it up, right?
So,
Look,
so the rice federation or rice farmers, local rice farmers, are not being subsidized?
No, we are not being subsidized yet.
Okay, besides the other
small donor funding coming, like right now, through the instrumentality of Minister of Finance and the Minister of Agriculture, you know, those and under the auspices of the SLAP and STAPI who is managing that funding, some of the members have benefited, even though they have not yet received the money, but they have signed the grant agreement. Right, and then many of them are doing window shopping to make sure they don't want to buy tractors, some don't want to buy import, some want to buy car. That is a helpful thing, right? But what we are saying is this: the subsidy should be split up in two. You see, let us look at Nigeria scenarios. Okay. All right, Nigeria, quote unquote, you know, idea that they right now they have reached at the peak level of their own local supply. So what I'm saying is this. Whenever you're giving subsidy to the importer association, you should also look at, quote unquote, look at our budget to say, okay, the National Rice Federation will give me every year $5 million based on our white plan, because we have calculated white plan for 5 years.
Okay.
That 5 year we had $11 million. So we prioritize, because that $11 million, they carry equipment, they carry on training, they carry on other different activities. Because we want to capture the entire country as one. The entire country as one. That is why we have service centers. Those service centers will create a lot of job opportunity for our young people, unskilled and skilled people.
What county producing the highest quantity of rice right now?
Which county?
Yeah.
You know, the counties that are producing right now, you know, Lofa, Bon, Nimba, they are the higher peak in terms of rice production.
Okay, Lofa,
right now,
Nimba.
in fact, right now, I have to, you know, my rice I have to bring to Montreal because I have a contract to supply, but I cannot bring the rice when they are roll cut, because that is why we're talking about the accessibility.
Okay.
All right? Because we have to understand the accessibility in terms of rice production. We look at, quote unquote, those districts, those communities that produce higher level. The government should prioritize those roles to have those access to those roles, because economically they'll be gaining. So right now, what I'm doing now is that I have authorized my people, right? AIIC, you know, I'm the CEO in front of AIIC, an Agriculture Infrastructure Investment Company, okay, and one of the biggest processors in Liberia, right? So right now we are selling rice in Foya and Kolawi and that of Vonjama, right? Just to make
at $17.
No, at $3,000.
Okay.
Because we had a lot of challenges in producing our rice. Right, because the road conditions, we have to buy empty bed, we have to pay people, we have to do a lot of things. So because when we have some kind of subsidies, the same way we are discussing, you know, importation subsidy. Because when you clearing people land, we tell them exactly, for example, we give you the facility, but you sell the right to the processors, all right, at this level. The processors, the government give you this subsidy, you sell it at this level. So we come at the parallel line with the importation of in terms of sales.
What you as a rice processor, right?
Yeah.
What amount of subsidies you will need? Now you say for example, you're selling your rice at $3,000.
Yeah, at this point. Yeah,
at this current point. What kind of subsidies in terms of the amount you know you think you will need in a year to maybe bring that rice price down to as low as 3,000 or lower than that?
That is what we are saying. Land clearing carry bulk of the money. Land preparations.
And this way, people will need machines.
Yeah, exactly. Land preparations and fuel oil, you know, and gasoline, because those that are processing, they buy the gasoline at the higher price. And also, if you do not support the farmer to do that land clearing and you know, land preparations and what have you, when they prepare the land, they have to sell it to the processor at some price between $14 to $15 US. Then if the man buy at that rate, how you expect the man to get his money? Because you have to buy empty bed and print. You have to pay. You have to pay. You have to buy feed oil. You have to make sure that he dry. You have to take, casual worker to make sure they get the people. You got to pay the people. So when you quote unquote, when you put all the turning together, they might be bringing like $1.
So we agree here now that Liberians are not just turning their back on locally made rice.
Yeah.
But the matter of fact is, it is expensive than the imported rice.
Yeah, of course, that is one. Yeah, that
production cost.
Yeah, that is one of the problems. And then to reduce the kind of problem that we talk, the issue. I always go back to Nigeria. Nigeria, the Nigeria local rice very expensive than the imported rice, but it's mandatory that you buy the local rice in Nigeria, right? Because you don't even have, because it's not going in Nigeria. Because what the poor want to prioritize, and they have succeeded. Nigeria right now, they have produced 1 million metric ton. They consume yearly 1.2 million metric ton. So the imported rice is about 200,000.
Okay, so we get back to you, Mr. Kamara. Mr. Mohammed Kamara is the president of the National Rice Federation of Liberia. He's our guest on this edition of the Bumper Show. My name is Jarp Davies. I'm your host on this edition, sitting in for Jala Grefi, who is under the weather. We will open the lines. You can have your say on what we're talking about. You can call us on 0880-514-096, 0880-514-096, and you can be a part of the program and have your say on what we are talking about on the program this afternoon. Mr. Kamara, I want to bring you to something, this feasibility study on the rice sector that I don't know whether it has kicked off, but I know in June the European Investment Bank, the Ministry of Agriculture, signed this €4 million deal to conduct a feasibility study that would deal with the issue of irrigation, storage, distribution, the entire value chain. What's the involvement of the local rice farmers, through the National Rice Federation? What's your involvement in this entire process?
Yeah, honestly, as I said, maybe or out of sight, because the fact remains is that whenever you count on the rice, whatsoever investments or investor that come to the country, in the country, the National Rice Federation need to be 100% represented. Yeah, but unfortunately, they have that in the Pueblan for all to be 100% represented, but we're not part of the dedication. We're not part of the assessment.
So since June, this contract or say this agreement was signed till now, there's no involvement of the local rice farmers.
No, we're not saying there's no involvement of the local, because we don't know the methodology that we use, right, to involve local rice farmers. But I'm talking about the federation, who is an umbrella of local rice farmers.
Okay, so the federation now is not involved.
Yeah.
At this point.
In terms of the the methodology that is used to cover the entire rice assessment, right? So they have the plan for us, all right, because clearly there are a lot of opportunity, there are a lot of things, because sometimes people come and then they rushing to get things happen. The minister too much engaged, and sometimes some things happen. So so I informed the federation to be part of the process. So we're waiting, because we want to be part of the process, because that is our own take of the entire process.
Definitely.
Because we are the host. All right, we are the host of the Ministry of Agriculture. We are the host of whatsoever investor that come to the Ministry of Agriculture. We definitely, when it comes to the rights, right, we need not to be outside. We need to be participatory into the process.
And if you will advise, probably you are not in yet, but there is plan for you to get in. But while you are still out, and we'll just let you advise those who are involved with this feasibility study, what areas you think they should, concentrate in terms of how can we boost our rice production?
Yeah, the first and foremost, we got to look at the amount that is involved, and then we start to see, because we get a lot of lapses, we get a lot of constraints in terms of gaps. So what we need to do, because when we say we want to put all of those things together, every area of rice production is our priorities. So when we look at the volumes of money and we look at the amount of what that need to be invested, then from there we all can sit on the table. We say, okay, even though all are priorities, but let us then make this a priority ones, right? Let us make this a priority too. Like for example, we have that we are saying, what do we start all with first? Are we starting all with land preparations? And how many land are we talking about to be prepared on that scheme? Right? If we're talking about land preparation, land clearing, right? Then how many irrigation should be established? I'm talking about dime. All right? So all of those things is something that we need to sit down together and make sure that we plan it to suit with the amount that is available for that investment. So in that, when we calculate those amount to say, okay, when I invest, we will invest completely in this, and for example, we look at 2 or 3 counties. We look at the volumes of the money first. We look at, we say, okay, the 3 counties, okay, if the money can solve the 3 county problem, we concentrate on the 3 counties that can be completed fully. So land clearing on our area now, irrigation and establishment through dime rehabilitation, dime building of dime and irrigation system, that can be a fine programs.
Okay. Let's take some calls. Hello? Welcome. Okay, take a minute. Let's hear from you. Wow. Oh, he's the line. Let's hear from another person. Hello. Welcome. Let's hear from you. Okay. Thank you so much. Let's hear from this person. Hello. Hello. You live. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you. Let's hear from this person. Hello. Yeah. Let's hear from you. Thank you so much, Mr. Kamara.
Yeah.
I just want to use this last quarter to, continue with the conversation. You're talking about stats. We should know, first of all, our consumption level
Yeah, that is very simple. We consume 500,000 metric ton
per year.
per year.
500,000
Metric ton.
metric tons.
Yeah.
I'm not too good at math, so I can't say how many bags of rice that is, but 500,000 metric tons per year. But are we, do we, first of all, need, now that we're not having what we we don't have the machines to start farms, to start large scale farms. So, do you think it will also go down to manpower, that we don't have much people on farms working for rice production?
Yeah, that is about 20 million bags.
20 million bags.
Yeah,
Wow.
500,000. Yeah, the issue is that, we're in a technology war right now, right? Those equipment during land preparation, people are getting tired, honestly, let me be honest with you. If you see people, children, young people are riding motorbikes these days because they don't want to work physically, taking classes and what have you, right? So that is why we, in Europe and other in Asians and what have you, that's why people going for mechanizations. It made the job more easier. You train people, even if you are not educated, but you can train to be a tractor operator, right? You can train to be a power tiller operator, all right? So it made a lot of money. So when we create a kind of enabling environment for our young people, men and women will not be riding motorbike, because you take into consideration the stress in riding motorbike. People are growing honor every day. You go in the southeast, you go in other area. Young people are growing honor every day, and that is not good for our country. You'll be limiting manpower in terms of women and men, because most of our young people are involved in the kind of hard and labor, because there's a hard reality something, because when you look at the load that the young guys are taking, coming into those far distances, almost like a car load. So when we have the kind of operations, you'll be taking the children out of the street. Even though a lot of Zocos here, you can carry most of the guys on the farm, right? You train them. As long as they can eat, they get things done, and they move from there, you get a reserve place for them, right? Where they come from the farm, they go there, they get a meal, they get this, that, and drugs will be coming from all of them, right? But these are all strategies that need to be put in place.
What do you hear from small scale farmers? These small scale farmers, what do they say to you? Whenever you people talk, what do they say as the challenges?
The challenges that here we face, all of us in Liberia, we face the similar challenges in terms of farming.
Okay.
Right, and if you see layman, like I said, we have two ecologists, the lowland and the upland ecologists, and then predominantly we're using upland, because people feel that the lowland it had a lot of stress, a lot of work to be done.
Okay.
So that is why
lowland rice
the
farming,
lowland
so
rice,
people are
people are
gravitating to the-
so that is why people are migrating from. When you made a farm this year, you migrate from that one because you get surplus of land. Like other country where they are limited in terms of land, right? So you will see a man will migrate from here, you'll be doing it, and after 5 years come back to the same place. All right, because you make more money when you do proper land management, right? That is, if you do land clearing, because the first and second year you will not make the kind of money that you expected,
Okay.
right? Because you have to fill, you have to de-string, you got to break, you got to do some peripheral canal and all that kind of stuff and thing. All right, so you have all those things, and all of us have the same challenge in terms of rice production, because they are where the money ready. So when you have those 2 years finished, so the next year you're not going to be doing de-strumming, you're not going to be doing most of the way you're doing plowing.
Okay.
Because those machines for the low land it require for the land to be prepared, right? When the lands are prepared, you may mold, then you have the mold you, because you will try to nurture the soil, right? And then you put the kind of ingredients that is required in terms of the nutrients.
How many new rice farmers we have in the country today?
Yeah, let me be honest with you. I will just name a few of them, but we many, because on our database we are plenty across the country, right? You have one
more than 1,000.
Yeah. We
People that
the people are working,
people that produce tons.
Yeah, people are producing tons. Look, you see some farmers in Lofa, some farmers in Grand Gida, some farmers in other places. Let me get name those speakers one today, and I'm not forgetting about other people, because I will not remember all of them right now, because people are part of our system, right? You have a lot of couple of them in Nimba County, right? You have a couple of them like one Agriculture Liberia. You get Jarp, you get SATC, you get ARRC, Agriculture Infrastructure Investment Company. You get Makona Farm, you get Makona Women, you get Daco Farm. You get, a lot of couple of them.
All of them just focus on rice.
On rice, exactly. All of them focusing on rice. Only a few of them because the issue is, why people migrate from one end to another, because the sustainability aspect of it. Like the way the Ministry of Agriculture, and as I said, the minister is doing very well, right?
Is that when we talk about fertilizers?
The problem here is we've been using a lot of fertilizer, but our land is fertile.
Okay.
Right? So, and the applications of fertilizer, it depends on your area, all right? Because that is why we are talking about a smart farm technology, right? Because sometimes we get applied fertilizer, we are testing the soil to know the kind of nutrient that is required in the soil. And you continue to apply fertilizer, then you will fertile the soil. And it will not even be good. So that is why it's required. That is why from the federation point, we have those documentation we want to present it to the government. All right, and that we can start from there. All right, and then that is the way we can go.
How the rice you people grow, right? Talking about you, the farmers. How long does it take?
We have durations. We have 3 months. We have 4 months. We have 5 months.
Okay.
Right, and the issue is, as I said, we quote unquote we have good varieties of rice. It's just a matter of agronomic practices, good agronomic practices.
Season country as well.
Yeah, I think the Ministry of Agriculture have been doing extremely well. Discussing, I think they just brought in some seeds from AU, right? Okay. A few couple of very good seeds they have been given to even farmers. I really appreciate the instrumentality of our Minister of Agriculture. Right, and she is doing extremely well, she and her team, right? But the fact remains is that we have to move faster. We have to move faster, because if the government, if the donors helping you and they seeing the kind of impact you are making, and the result is coming from because most of the donor funding coming because of us, the farmers, right? Because they want to see the rural community moving. They don't want everybody to come and for greener pasture in the city. The greener pasture should start from where they are. All right, so if you see Moria Park today, it's because people want to come and live good life in Morovia, because the opportunity is not provided for them. So what we are saying, agriculture make a lot of employment, right? Agriculture make a lot of employment. By the help of God, we have 2 giants of machine in country right now. One is in Vonyama, one is in Foya, right? If that machine can be completed, we'll be talking about massive rice production.
Okay.
In terms of, because someone will tell me, my man, They get the imported bottle what you can call it Powerball rice and things. I say the Powerball rice depending on the machine, right? The Powerball rice to grade it depends on the kind of machine you have. All right, and the machine gives instruction. You give instruction to the machine, and the machine operate, implement it. All right, so it's not a different thing. It's just a matter of the varied difference.
Okay. All right. So before I leave you, I just want to throw this question to you. If you will, talk to donors today, why would you want them to focus their attention? Do you people? Is it that you need training? You need equipment? What will be your
the
priority?
thing that the equipment go with training. The equipment go with manpower. Equipment go with employment. That is one of the good things that the donor need to understand, or even government.
Okay.
Because the issue is, like you're in your house every day. You're going to your neighbor, but please give me a cup of rest. Then your son be telling you, say, well, that my papi every day just begging people, but why the papi can bring home now? All right. So when people watching your back, you should be able to do something. That is what I'm saying. If government, the National Red Federation, just make sure it's okay directly, right? Based on your priorities, we'll give you the money this year, right? If you want equipment, government will go and sign contract with the manufacturer. We don't need the money, right? Just the government and us saying it's okay. Check any part of the world, right? We want you, the number of equipment that you need and that can do land preparation, land clearing. We want you to get all the listing. We will start from there. The government can sign contract with any manufacturer around the world, as long as she can maintain her commitment.
Okay, you said you're working with government, you're working with other partners to ensure this boost in rice production. You are here today. You catalog several plans that you have. Some documents already, but next time you come here, maybe say 6 months or 7 months from now, what would you like to be your achievement when we're talking?
I can just show you with the current interventions of the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Agriculture, and the government as a whole, with the release of the funding that is en route to give it to the first 23 qualified beneficiaries, and I can tell you
under the STARP project.
Under the STARP project,
okay.
That grant that is managed by the law, and I can tell you, after that disbursement, you will see the terms of production, because within that period, I can tell you we'll be having our own Powerball rice on the market, because SADC in Vonjama will be completed. AIRC in Foya, the integrated rice processing mill that was funded by USAID Liberia, along implemented by CNIFA LADA. And I can tell you, if that mill is completed, because one of those mills are 16 metric tons per day. So tell me, the only thing we'll be looking at in the entire Lofa County is to do massive production. And where the Ministry of Agriculture already started that, with the kind of support that will be provided. And I'm telling you right now, I must appreciate the STARP staff for initiating that. In fact, we are signed some contract with the Federation of Sons of Contract with them, we'll still be going on the field. All right? So they are trying their best to empower us, honestly.
So you are saying that this will serve as probably a game changer.
Exactly, but that is not just the solution, right? What we are saying is part of the solution.
Okay.
Right?
Steps to the solution.
Just steps to the solution. But what we are saying is for the national government, through the legislature, to understand if we want those shortages of rights to be curtailed, the National Red Federation needs to be prioritized by its members, because all of the representatives in the House, both lower house and the upper house, their constituencies are in there, and they are representing the cross majority of farmers in our country. So when they are crying with that kind of support, meaning that they are responsible. I told them yesterday, because it is clearly clear, because if I call our people to come to Morovia, and you understand, which of course we don't have that intent, because the government doing her best. But we are saying that the subsidy provided to the importer is not sustainable. It's workable, but it's not sustainable. So what we're saying, the sustainability aspect of it is to go along with the national rice federations in that rice can be on the market at all times for our own local productions. Because the advantages is that the local rice production is organic rice. It has a lot of health benefits. That is the good thing about it. And I can tell the masses today on the platform that the kind of machinery that we have today, if those rice processing machines are adequately functioning to its maximum, I can tell you, you don't need to worry about any stone or any foreign materials in rice. I can assure you that 100%.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr.
Let me also congratulate a few of my colleagues.
Okay.
You know, Jarp is in the southeast. He trained from Middle as well.
The Armstrong guy, right?
Armstrong guy.
Okay.
We have John Sharma. You have the guy from Nimba. What the guy's name? Borry. And you got Makona Robert, Emmanuel JJ. He is in the state, but he's supporting a friend. Look, we got a lot of people. No, we are working. You know, to be honest with you, the federations and remember they are. No, the issue, but the problem that's where the challenge is. That's where they're trying to pick our back. And you know, we're moving. We're not just sitting, we're not just talking, but we're moving. But you know, you will not see the kind of what we're doing until the kind of support that we need, and we started putting the kind of, you know, putting it physically on the market. Then you see, yeah, we are doing something, but we're almost getting there.
Okay. All right, Mr. Kamara. Mohammed Kamara is the president of the National Rice Federation of Liberia. He's been our guest on this first segment of the bumper show here on ELBC Radio. Keep listening to the program. We have more coming up for you right here on this afternoon's edition of the